Okay, so we've already made a video on our basic vacuum system and our vacuum system with reel. This is to introduce you to our external and internal hide-a-hose system. So what I'm going to do is walk you through everything it comes with and kind of briefly explain how it works. So if you buy either system, it's going to come with everything you see here and all of these accessories. The only difference is this is an external mounted box. So this is how this will mount to the surface of the wall. This piece will insert in, and then your piping will go into the top of it. I brought a piece of pipe to show you kind of how this works. I don't know if I have enough headroom here. I think I do. So imagine this is your wall, surface mounted here. And the pipe goes into the top here. And then you're gonna basically drill a hole through the ceiling, through the drywall in the ceiling, and then you're gonna use these clamps in the attic to mount your piping all the way through. The only difference between the surface mounted and the internal mounted is that there is a different box. There's a flange mounted box that goes under the drywall, and then this piece, which is much like this piece, slips into that box, and the piping will be inside the drywall and it'll go up into the attic. So what we give you is going to be 80 feet of pipe. So there's 10 8-footers that come with the system. You'll have 4 sweeps. And why this is important is because the hose has to go through sweeps. You can't put the hose, the 50 feet of hose that gets sucked into the pipe, you can't put it through a tight 90 like this. It's too much friction. So be mindful that anything that's any part of the system, the first 50 feet or 51 feet, because the hose does kind of stretch as it's being sucked in, the first 50 feet have to be through large radius sweeps. We also send a couple of large radius 45s depending on your attic and how you have to route the pipe through. Also, what's important to note is it comes with a stopper. This gets set at right at 50 feet or maybe 50 foot and 2 inches. What this does is if the cuff were to ever come off of the hose for any reason where it stops in the hide-a-hose here, the hose would just naturally want to get sucked all the way to the vacuum. What this does is prevent that. So if it does come off, the hose, this is a hard stop, internal hard stop, so that the hose can't go very far. So you could simply reach up maybe with a coat hanger or something. If it's just a few inches in, you can't reach it with your finger, and you could draw the hose back out. That would prevent you from having to take the whole system apart to find your hose. Comes with 10 couplings just for connecting all the piping, and then it comes with an 11th coupling, which is what this gets glued into. So your hose will come in to here, or your pipe I should say will come into here. You'll glue this into the pipe, and then the other end, because this is an ID fitting, it'll fit into another coupling, and then you'll continue on with your piping all the way to the vacuum system. We got your vacuum mounting plate for the vacuum, which if you're doing it in an attic, you may or may not need this. For instance, in Matt's system here, which you'll see, it's just sitting on the deck. There's plywood up there, so we just set it on the deck. We didn't even use this, but you could hang this from a truss or something and mount the vacuum on a truss if you needed to. It also comes with, the basic system would come with all this anyway. Everything you see here, the basic and the real system comes with what you've got here. You've got your muffler, power cord, the mounting plate. It comes with, this is the fitting that goes internal the vacuum. We can show you that real quick where that goes. So that goes in here. This fitting gets a gasket right here, okay, like this. And then this goes into either inlet. This can be an inlet on the left or the right. This goes in here, and then the bag attaches to this end of the fitting. And it also comes with some bags. You got 2 bags that come with it. So these, basically, this part of this comes off, peels off, and then you've got your little rubberized gasket here that this fits into. Pretty self-explanatory there. It also comes with a couple extra fittings for mounting the muffler. So I think I mentioned this before in the last video, that if you were to have your inlet on this side, this is where the exhaust comes out. So the muffler normally fits over here somewhere, so we do send an extra 45, so you can offset this and then run another 90 up like this, so it gets the muffler out of the way of the inlet. But if you're going on the left side, it won't matter. Also comes with a little short piece of pipe to connect everything together. Other thing I'd like to mention, so these are female spade connectors, and what these are to turn the vacuum on and off remotely. So when you do either the external or internal Hydro hose, you're going to connect to this connector right here, and this is a low voltage 24 volt. It basically acts as an on-off switch. So these plug into here like that, 2 of them, and then you're going to crimp your wire into these, and it comes with plenty of wire. I think there's got to be 80 feet or so in here. I don't exactly know for sure, but there's plenty. So those get crimped into that, and then this ends up getting connected to these 2 wires. Now, what that does is there's a switch when you turn on and off the vacuum. There's a switch here that turns it on and off. And on this one, there's a little rocker switch right here that turns on and off, as you can see. And when you shut the door, this one turns off automatically, the internal one. Now on the external system, the wire will be external as well. So you want to tie it up nice and neat, probably in the back side of the pipe, as close as you can get it to the wall, and then use some probably white zip ties to tie it up nicely. That'll go up into your attic and run all the way to your vacuum. Accessories, you've got what you see here and 50 feet of Hydro hose. As I mentioned, you get 80 feet of pipe, which is more than enough to get your vacuum where it needs to be and gives you the 50 feet to hide the hose in. So hopefully that gives you the information you need to install this. It's really a simple system to install. You just have to take your time. I think, attaching to the drywall, especially if you're going to do the internal mount, there's a little more work there. You're going to have to cut drywall and stuff, but it's fairly straightforward. If you can do any drywall work, if you got somebody that can do drywall work for you, it's pretty simple. The surface mounted system is very simple. In fact, I would argue it's simpler to do this than even having to mount a reel, because the reel you have to find some blocking. This you don't. You can mount this without any blocking and put your vacuum in the attic where you don't hear it. I think it's fairly straightforward. So hopefully this little video helps you guys decide what you want to do, whether you want to go internal or external, and it gives you enough information to make a decision. I think the system's great. I'm going to choose to do the internal at my house because I like the look and it's super clean. But if you didn't want to do drywall work and you wanted to just get a system up and running, even the external doesn't look bad at all. So hopefully this helps, and if you have any questions, just reach out to support and they'll help you through it.